So a lot of people say that free alternatives to Midjourney do not produce as majestic art as Midjourney could do. And I'm about to prove them wrong. For example, this half painting, half realism was not Midjourney. This cartoon style was also not Midjourney. So is this anime art. And finally, so is this sort of Maya style photography. And yes, these photos, they do have more details inside their prompts than any Midjourney image would have. However, you don't have to be a genius to do them, and by the end of this video, I'll show you how to master these prompts so you can generate the exact same result. So the tool that I'm gonna be using instead of Midjourney is called playgroundai.com. So let's have a quick overview of the tool before we go into details. So it is the tool for both generating and viewing the art of other people. So it's an all-in-one, something you can do in Midjourney, but you would have to like scroll through all the things that they have there. And if you want to get inspiration by some category, you can go here at the top and you can choose, for example, animals, and it will show you everything that is related to it. That's a cool cat, by the way. And all these features are similar to other tools that exist like on the market, so to speak, and one of them is Lexica. However, this one is primarily to generate art, so you wouldn't be able to generate realistic pictures. So it is kind of a one use case solution, so that is why we are using Playground, because it is very flexible and you can customize the prompt for both. So here you see an example of a prompt. So the first part that you have is called style. And you're basically telling the engine what you want it to look like. So it can be anime, if you want an anime style, it can be photography, portrait, digital art, something that gives it an overall view of how the entire picture will look like. The second part is subject. So you see here sunset, rocks, those are the subjects. And you're telling the engine what you want to generate, and it will link back to the style that you have. For example, surrealism art, that is a style, and you have sunset and rocks, those are two subjects. And the rest, after that, you have specified everything. Really, the rest is just details. Those are descriptive. So it's everything that you want it to be. And so throughout the video, and as well as scrolling through the pictures themselves, you are gonna notice that a lot of prompts repeat themselves. So specifically the descriptives part, for example, intricate details, studio photo, highly detailed, and by Greg Rutrowski, which is an author. And these prompts, I refer to them as general descriptions. You would find in pretty much every single prompt there is, because all they do is that they add details and then tell the engine to refer to them. For example, here again you have highly detailed, intricate, which is the exact same of intricate details, and they might even overlap sometimes. And there's nothing bad, it's just because they were copy-pasting it just to have it faster. They were just copy-pasting it just to have a faster result. And here you can see those are some of the details that I use myself, and I will actually include it in the description of this video. And actually on top of those prompts, as I call them, there are also NIF prompts, which are added to every image, and you can find it as you scroll through. Those are, simply put, is something you want to remove from the image. So for example, mutated hands, poorly drawn face. Those are things that you really want to avoid having if you want to have like a real life photography. And here's the list of negative prompts that we'll be using, and I'll post them in the description as well. Alright, so let's now generate an image. So once you get to the UI, here's what you have. Filter, we won't be using it for now. Prompt, this is exactly where we are going to work in. Remove from image, you will have this toggled on. This is for negative keywords. Image to image, that's just to upload an image. The mode, we are going to be using Stable Diffusion 1.5, that is just enough for good quality pictures. There is also 2.1, but I don't recommend touching it. Image dimensions, and you have to look carefully because those are different aspect ratios. Prompt guidance is just how close it is to your actual prompt. And I would put it a bit up, but don't use it too much because it might avoid adding some extra details that can make it look good. Quality and details, this is again, you can put it a bit up to 100, but do not put it maximum because it will be too detailed and less focused on the main thing. Seed is a number that you get after generating an image or finding the one you want to use as the foundation for your generation. So for example, this one in here, this has the seed of 288 blah blah blah. You would copy the seed, you would put it in here, and this would be the foundation of your image. Number of images, definitely choose 4 because we want to have them as choices. And that is pretty much it. So let's get to the prompt now. The first style of images we are going to perfect is photography. So let's try portrait of a Norwegian woman. And here's what we get. As you can see, our prompt is super short, so we get a bit of a weird image. We have two people here. They actually look like twins for no reason at all. So let's try to improve our prompt so we get a better image. Okay, and here we have an extremely advanced prompt. So it's a portrait photography of a Nordic teenager. I specified the age, and then the rest is just descriptives to make it look better. However, the last point I want to add is art by art germ. And this in here is just another artist, and you can use it as a reference. You can see he draws insane images, and that highly relates to what we are doing because those are portraits and photography. Okay, now we have better results, but again, you can see all of them are disfigured. We have clones in here, so that's not good. Let's try now to add negative prompts. Okay, and here I added all the negative prompts that I use for photography. Let's now click generate. Okay, this is already way better. You can see we are getting some real details in here. And however, there is still a problem there. There is too many in one. So that led me to this artist, analog style. He's doing portraits, and I just found him by typing portrait into playground, so we can use this style at the beginning just like he does, so the prompt can make a reference to it. And again, you can see that he also had the issue of a lot of people, two faces, face on chest, bra, breast cover, blah blah blah. So it is completely fine if we copy the exact same negative prompts and we include them on top of whatever we have already. And you can see prompts can have brackets in them, and that just means how much you want to have an emphasis on this. You're telling, hey, stable diffusion, I really don't want it to be poorly drawn, and I'm putting an extra emphasis to it. There's a missing bracket. Okay, let's now click generate and see the result that we got. Okay, and finally, we don't have a disformed image. This is the portrait we have gotten. Okay, now that we have successfully done the photography, let's try the animals now. I really liked that cat before, so let's try to make a similar version to it. Orange cat with piercing eyes sitting on the edge of the cliff. Yes, and again, that's what you get just from having a shorter prompt. So let me try to apply. Okay, and I have just imported all the prompts that relate to the animal photography, and something I want to put extra emphasis on is Greg Rutowski. So Greg Rutowski is actually a Polish artist that is on ArtStation, and people have started to use it as foundation to make their own art just to have those, details. So that is one example here, what you see. He has put Greg Rutowski just so the AI knows to use details from the paintings that have artists inside of them, and you can see it's super detailed. It even has a bit of blur, a lot of details, and the animal looks realistic, so that is all we need. Okay, let's now try without the negative keywords and let's see what we got. Okay, and here's what we get. Again, this is sort of another cat. It has a lot of ears, a lot of faces. That's not what we need, and that is the point of negative keywords, so let me apply them quickly. Okay, and in cases that you have something like this, it's almost perfect, but you're just missing the fact that it has a too long, like snake body. You can just type into negative keyword list, too long body, body disformed, body prolonged, and that is how you would get the perfect image for animals. Okay, so we are going to do anime style Nier Automata, which is a game character. These are all parts of my descriptive prompts, but the one I want to put emphasis on is WLOP. So WLOP is a Chinese artist, and he creates insane anime art, which we definitely want to use as a reference. And once you have the negative keywords put in, just click generate. And here's what we have. Obviously, it is not one-to-one because then it would be copyrighted, especially if you want to use it for commercial purposes. So that is just enough for us. And now you know how to generate those three styles, which are kind of one of the most popular ones. But if you want to go into different styles like digital art, landscapes, or something like abstract photography, let me show you authors that you can use as your reference so you can get insane images. Aaron Blaze, this would get you images like these, which have insane fantasy details. H.R. Kicker, and oh my god, you get those alien masterpieces, like just look at this detail. Caravaggio is an actual Italian painter who was drawing those, and again you can use them as reference if you want to have those like art from the very old century. Carne Griffins, she creates those vivid splash paintings and mainly portraits, and this would get you those Renaissance images. Jacob Lawrence, this is just an American abstract painter. Tinsky, and this would just get you, wow, those insane dark gothic and alien-like parallel worlds. And here is what you see when you combine the two authors. Like, you would get insane detail, especially if they are in the same space like those two. And once you have those prompts saved up and you can use them as reference from like your computer or from just scrolling the web, if you're just addicted to scrolling the web, you can create even better quality than Midjourney, and the best part, you don't have to pay for it. And again, a quick note, any platform, just like Playground AI, if you want to use something separate, if it uses Stable Diffusion, you can always use the same prompts. Let me know what you want to see as the next video, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. I'm weird.